Keep the fans out. We don't need them.
I think it's proven. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning that won the purest Stanley Cup of all time. No fans in there polluting the atmosphere, changing the way the teams play, affecting the refs. No more fans. I'm very pleased.
Keep the fans out. What do fans bring to the game? Nothing.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The NHL doesn't have fans, but at least we are like the NHL in that matter. We're happy to have you.
Having no fans.
We love having no fans.
It's the best.
Maybe we have a chip on our shoulder about fans. I'm not going to psychoanalyze. But we're back.
This is our teaser episode.
Yeah, we're just doing a teaser this one. We want everyone to know that we're alive and we're okay. We have gotten your get well cards and your teddy bears and your delicious white powder in envelopes. And we want you to know that we're actually fine. You know, we've weathered the storm and we're back.
That's right. We've been away. It's been a crazy year for everybody. One of the reasons that we've been away, or at least one of the reasons I was away, was I was doing some missionary work in South America, trying to spread the game.
Yeah, in a time like this, you realize what's important, and giving back is important. And I was really proud to hear that you had moved to South America.
Yeah, Bolivia.
Sorry, Bolivia.
So I was trying to build rinks in Bolivia, getting the kids into the game, just trying to spread the game. Just trying to spread the game. I'm like Gretzky going to L.A. It's like Gretzky going to L.A. Doney going to Bolivia. So that's what I was doing. But I'm back now. It was a failure.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to ask. How many rinks did you build in Bolivia?
They just kept melting. I couldn't keep them cold.
Oh, did you look up what it take? Because I'm not familiar with the technology. What does it take to keep a rink cold?
Well, I mean, it's just ice. You just keep it cold. But it was just too hot there, and it just kept melting. So it didn't work out. Didn't much spread the game. Ended up picking up some game with a ball, and you run around. You can't even use your hands or something.
But what do you hold the stick with?
Yeah, I know. That's what I kept asking too.
So
didn't make sense.
You just keep the stick between your legs?
I don't think there's a stick, or at least they kept taking the stick away from me and giving me these cards, yellow cards and red cards and stuff. And they didn't have hockey. The cards didn't have hockey players on them either, which was
that's dumb.
Super dumb.
They give you a yellow card, you give them back a Tim Hortons Marc-Andre Fleury Vegas card.
Yeah, that's right.
Those are rare these days too.
Those are very rare cards. Those are some expensive cards. If you got a foil, a shiny one, hold on to that thing.
Well, regardless, I still appreciate your efforts to bring ice hockey to Bolivia, and I expect in 15 or 20 years, the Bolivian ice hockey team will just be, shutting out the Canadians 2-0 in the gold medal game or something. I don't know.
They didn't seem very interested.
They didn't seem very interested?
No.
That's crazy. And I just hate to think that someone could come in as a white savior and not get a good reception. Just like, what kind of world we live in,
I know. Things have changed.
I also have been gone. You guys have noticed that there hasn't been a HockeySport podcast in a little while. It just felt like, small potatoes. We had to stay safe. We had to make sure that everyone knows that that COVID's a big deal. And we started to give back. Dan, going to Bolivia. I went to the UN, actually, and I was lobbying the UN. Because in a time like this where there's a crisis, obviously the thing on everyone's mind is that ice hockey rinks should be a UN human right. And in spite of, many committees that I formed, and I think some real progress being made, it's still, on the tentative side, it's hard to know whether the UN's going to adopt my resolution and make sure that every community over the size of 5,000 has nice hockey. I kind of went kind of grassroots, and I went, institutional, trying to going for the same goal.
Yep. Spread the game. Yeah. So how did it work? Did the UN like it? How was it received by Malala?
It's interesting. Didn't meet Malala. But
I want to meet Malala.
The other people I met with that were mostly the other people with picket signs outside of the hotel in Geneva with me, they were all very receptive to the idea. Mm-hmm. Frankly, their ideas were a little crazy.
Yeah.
Not sure if I'm into what they were going for with their picket signs, but HockeySport Podcast, big hit amongst protesters in Switzerland.
Yeah. I think we should change our slogan it's spreading. It just didn't quite work for this year, I think, specifically. Since this is our teaser episode, we're going to get into all the big stuff next episode. We're going to talk about the Canadian division and all the other divisions and all the teams. And
Canadian division and other should be the names of the division.
Canadian division, other division. Yeah,
other sponsored by Honda.
Yeah. Man, everything is sponsored now.
Everything is sponsored now. That's the world we live in.
Isn't there a Scotiabank division? I think there is.
Doesn't Pedersen have a tattoo of an Audi symbol on his right butt cheek?
Power, agility.
You can't say two of the three.
Speed.
I am a fan of some of these things. Some of the time.
We're going to be talking about all that next episode.
Basically, we just wanted to say we're alive, and we love you, and you're very special. And we are going to be back. Look for the real season preview coming up in your newsfeed next week. Mm-hmm. So while you guys are listening to the games, instead of the sound of fans in the stadium, you can play our voices on many different speakers out of sync, and it'll sound like the cacophony of rowdy, drunk fans.
Bluetooth.
And
what are we going to be doing on this teaser episode, Steve?
Well, this teaser episode, we're trying to wrap up 2020. You know, it's the end of the year. Y'all made it. Y'all made it through. Well, actually, technically not all of you guys made it through.
A lot of people didn't make it through.
A lot of people didn't make it through. That was very callous of me to say that.
Yeah.
Sorry to our listeners who didn't make it through 2020. We are going to go through each team and very quickly say why their 2020 sucked. You know, 2020 sucked for all of us.
Yeah.
It's no time to wallow in the fact that we failed in our humanitarian white savior efforts.
Yeah. I mean, we were traveling around the globe spreading it. And by it, I mean...
Up first, and the first team we're going to do in our Why 2020 Sucked for You is the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Going fishing for your bitch today. We drunk in Tampa Bay.
It's pretty clear why 2020 sucked for the Tampa Bay Lightning. You know when you're a kid and you're in your driveway and you pretend you just won the Stanley Cup while you're playing road hockey and you skate around the ice showing off your invisible Stanley Cup to the no fans that are there? That's what Tampa Bay got to do.
That's what they did. They got to play pretend.
They got to play pretend.
Car. Game on. Yeah, it's unfortunate for them that they tried for so long to do it, and then they did it, and it was lamer than it should have been. They didn't have fans.
And like we've said, the tournament itself was a perfect hockey tournament.
Yeah.
Unruined by yokels. But that victory really felt a little hollow. And frankly, I turned it off. I stopped watching. Stamkos got the cup, and me seeing a man who played none of the playoffs skate around an empty arena with the Stanley Cup just felt a little too true to my own, Saturday morning depressed activities that I do.
Yeah, he was truly like a fan in that moment because he wasn't on the ice, but he put on a jersey and pretended that he was part of the team.
Yep. And then as soon as he put down the cup, the trade rumors started. So glad you had a good summer, Steven Stamkos. Moving on to Boston. Boston, why did your year suck?
Years never suck. We're Boston. We're great all the time. Fuck you.
Sorry, Boston. No, Boston, that was rhetorical. I wasn't actually asking you.
Oh.
How did you get on this podcast? Why are you here?
All right. Well, I'm always here.
You're always here?
I'm right. The second you mention Boston, I'm showing up. I'm looking. I'm a looker.
I forgot. If you say Boston once into a mirror, a Boston Bruins fan shows up.
You don't even have to say it 3 times. Just once.
Just don't look in a mirror when you're saying the word Boston.
Don't do it. Why did Boston suck this year? Well, it was their last year of being good. I mean, does that works, right? Because they're going to suck this year.
Yeah. All I want to say to Boston fans, you think that Chara leaving doesn't matter, but look at what happened to San Jose after Pavelski left. That's all I'm saying.
That's all we're saying. That's
all we're saying.
Boston, you're going to suck this year. No leadership. Everybody's given up.
Yeah, when I look at Pasternak, Marchand, and Bergeron, all I see is Brent Burns, Joe Thornton, and Erik Karlsson.
They're going to get lazy real fast. If they lose a couple games in a row, they're going to get lazy. Then they're going to stop caring. And that's when the vultures will begin to circle.
So I guess Boston, their 2020 sucked because Chara left, and they are now going to miss the playoffs.
This podcast is going to get so much better. The more Boston sucks, the better this podcast gets.
This podcast was born at a time of peak Boston and deepest darkness, terrible Vancouver, and it's only reversing.
It's reversing.
You're watching the planets realign.
The great reversal.
In 18 years, precisely, the planets will align ever so nicely.
Aye, verse. Aye.
Next up. What's up next?
St. Louis.
Meet me in St. Louis, Louis, meet me at the fair.
Do you know why your 2020 sucked, St. Louis?
St. Louis, you know why your 2020 sucked? Jordan Binnington's still your goalie. It seems like a problem. And it's always going to suck when he's around. Don't things just suck when that guy comes into a room?
That's just a general guess about his presence at parties and get-togethers.
Yeah.
2020 was probably okay for St. Louis because they had to do less parties and get-togethers with Jordan Binnington, which is nice.
Yeah. It's why they were so unmotivated in the first round, because they had to spend all that time together. There was never a chance to leave. And Jordan Binnington was always in the hallway, never in his room, always in the hallway, pacing.
Yeah, he didn't ask for a room.
Didn't ask for a room. Where did he sleep?
He just walked the hallways.
Just walked the hallways.
Wearing a sort of tarnished wedding gown for some reason.
Yeah.
Singing Que Sera.
Whatever will be, almost like a ghost. Is he dead?
Kind of like a ghost. Is Jordan Binnington dead?
Is he dead?
I think Demko is the new Binnington, and therefore Binnington's soul has no place on Earth, you know? Like, Demko just became the hot new rookie.
He's definitely the hot new rookie, but less of a racist serial killer than Binnington is. Hopefully.
Next up,
the
Avalanche.
I guess he'd rather be in Colorado.
You know why the Avalanche had a sucky 2020?
Why?
Because none of them got to play in the playoffs, and they lost to Dallas. It just,
Yeah.
it sucks.
It does suck. It's like studying all year for a test, and then the day before the test happens, you are blinded in a chemical fire. Like, well, all that was for nothing. And wow, I was really gonna ace that test. Too bad I'm blind.
It also sucks that Colorado, when people look back on this season, they're going to be like, oh, that was their peak that season, I think.
It might be their peak. That's gonna be a problem for them. That might have been their peak. You don't get a lot of peaks. In fact, you only get one.
In fact, you only get one by simple geometry.
Simple.
Which Dan knows because that was the test he was studying before he got blinded.
That's true. I was studying for geometry. And it's really hard to do geometry when you're blind. Not a lot of Braille tests going on in Bolivia.
All right. We're just kind of going top to bottom, but back and forth, kind of random. Next up.
Yeah, top to bottom, back and forth.
Top to bottom, back and forth. Spreading it.
Spread it. Travel the globe, spread it. Hockey.
Next up, Washington Capitals.
Washington, D.C., the only place for me to be.
Ooh, the Caps. The Caps had a sucky 2020. I think they're still hungover from their win.
I don't think it's a hangover at this point. People keep saying it's a hangover. I think it's just sustained alcoholism. When Nicholas Backstrom comes into a practice and says he's hungover from his Stanley Cup win, you just eventually, 2 years later, have to look him in the eye and say, Nicholas, you've been drinking for 2 years and you have a problem. Please sit down. We all want to talk to you.
2 bloody years ago. But they're all doing that. So, you can't tell them all.
No, you can't. So, I mean, it's more like their 2020 rocked. But
right. Okay, so that's
every good party is a double-edged sword.
Yeah, so they had an awesome 2020 is what we're saying. Their 2020 didn't suck because they're still partying.
And I'm just getting high off the fumes from these guys. I love the way they party, and I hope they never stop.
I mean, yeah, I totally agree.
I think Zdeno Chara signed up for the party when he signed with the Capitals.
Keep the party going. Keep the party going.
Philadelphia Flyers.
The Flyers, why did they suck? Well, we called that they weren't going to win the Stanley Cup, and they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, the terms that we put it in were a little stronger than that. I believe we have deemed them the worst team of all time, worse than Detroit.
Yeah, and they're never going to win the Cup. Suck
And
it,
they're
Flyers.
never... Okay. Yeah, okay. We're still... Yeah, you're doubling down. All right.
Yep.
So what's going to happen this year with the Flyers?
Carter Hart, he's going to choke, and Claude Giroux retires.
Wow. A lot of hate for Philadelphia.
Yeah, unfounded, too.
It's somehow unfounded and yet unsurprising.
But it makes sense. When you start saying it, it feels right.
Yeah, it does feel right.
Just try it. Try dissing Philadelphia. Try it.
Okay, I got one. Cracker Cart is the new Rick DiPietro. Ooh, that felt good.
Ooh, doesn't it feel good?
Ooh, that felt good.
Try it if you're listening at home. Just
try it right now.
with a diss for Philadelphia.
We'll pause.
Yeah.
We'll pause. You diss Philadelphia at home.
Yeah.
And see how it feels. Go for it.
Go for it. Try it out right now. We'll give you 15 seconds.
Oh, wow.
That was harsh.
That's really dark.
That was
That's
really dark.
Wow, I
Whoa.
can see why you listen to this podcast.
My God.
Pittsburgh Penguins. Moving on. We're moving on.
I got that Pittsburgh sound, and I'm always hold Pittsburgh down. It's Wiz Khalifa, man.
Pittsburgh. Why did Pittsburgh?
This is a teaser episode. We have to do these fast.
Teaser. This is a teaser.
Teasers are typically 30 seconds to 45 seconds of like the Batmobile driving
Yeah.
or like Wonder Woman's boots or something.
Yeah.
But our teaser is clocking in at a cool half hour. That's fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine because there's a lot of reasons why 2020 sucked.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what do you expect?
Teaser. Why did 2021 suck for Pittsburgh?
No, 20. Why did 2021 suck for Pittsburgh? I think you just answered your question. 2020 sucked for Pittsburgh because they're only getting worse in 2021.
It's true.
It's just like downhill.
Yeah.
They made the playoffs, but then lost in the prelims. Next year, they're missing the playoffs completely.
Yeah.
It's just beginning of a new decade for Pittsburgh spells bad news.
Yeah. And you know why it's going to suck for them? Because they think they're good. They still think they're good.
And some of them are good.
Some of them are good. They just need. That's one of those teams that just needs to just trade everyone. Trade
Yeah.
Crosby. Trade Malkin. Trade them all.
Don't we all want to see how much Crispy Crosby would get in a trade? That's right. I misspoke.
Crispy
It's sticking.
Crosby. I hope Crosby plays on another team at some point, and I think he will.
Vegas.
In Las Vegas.
Vegas. Why did Vegas have a bad 2020? I'll give you one word. Demko.
Demko. P.T.S.Demko.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. Moving
That's
on.
it.
Vegas.
Moving on. Vegas. You got
You got
Demko.
beat by Demko, but a round later.
Yeah,
One
you
round
got
later.
Beat before you thought you got beat, but really it happened.
In case people aren't following this story, which is ongoing, they said after they lost to Dallas that they never recovered from Demko and they never got their confidence back.
That's right.
Demko was name dropped.
That's right.
The dude is in the NHL for 1 year. He shows up like Megan Thee Stallion
Yep.
and gets name dropped by Beyonce day one. Demko, all-star. Moving on.
Carolina.
Carolina, guys. We're doing Carolina. Other than their logo looking like a butthole, which it always has, that doesn't really count for 2020.
A butthole after you've eaten a bag of spicy Doritos because it's all red.
I was going to say we should come up with something original, but you know what sucks about Carolina? We're not going to.
We're not gonna.
New York Islanders. New York Islanders, you didn't get a fucking third jersey. You didn't get a reverse retro jersey.
Man,
you guys
that's why
suck.
it sucked for you. That jersey sucked so much.
It doesn't suck. I'd buy it because it's just their normal
It's the
jersey.
same jersey.
It's so funny. It's just their normal jersey. I think it's brilliant.
Did they just forget?
No, someone came into Lou Lamoriello's office, which I assume is in the back room of a strip joint. You know?
Yeah.
And like they talked to a couple bouncers on the way in, and then they like, can we talk to Lou? We got it. And like Batman's there, and he's like, we need you to make a jersey. He's like, oh yeah, you need me to make a jersey? Here's your fucking jersey. Tosses a 2019 New York Islanders jersey at Gary Bettman.
Yeah.
And then gives him a couple ones. and tells him to show himself out.
Yeah, they definitely somehow made a lot of money off of those jerseys because they like stole them from a truck and had all these knockoff regular jerseys. And
Yeah,
what are we
they
gonna
fell
do with
off the
these?
back of a truck.
They fell off the back of a truck. And Lou was like, let's just we got to do those retro jerseys, right? Give him these.
Give them these. They've got like a digitally de-aged Robert De Niro stealing them from the back of a truck.
Digitally de-aged Robert De Niro playing for the New York Islanders is what I want to see next year.
I want to see that. I want Robert De Niro playing as Matt Barzal. Do it, New York Islanders. Do something original for once. Moving on. Next up, Dallas. Dallas. Is it better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all? And the answer is no.
The answer is
definitely not.
No.
Sorry, Shakespeare.
Definitely no.
It's better to lose.
More.
It's better to lose in the second round against a team that's way better than you when your goalie's playing out of this world than to lose the way Dallas did.
All the other teams were smarter than you, Dallas. You were the dumbest team in the league. Why? Everybody knew Tampa Bay was winning this year, and they got the fuck out of the way. And you were like, maybe we can do it, though. And then how did that work out? It ended in disaster. Should have stayed at home.
Yeah. You're the guys that stayed late at the bar till like 4 a.m. because the girl you're interested in is still there, but she's been talking to a guy all night. And then at 4 a.m., she goes home with him.
It's a bad bet. You made
a very bad bet. You stayed in the bubble for so long.
You lost, and you shouldn't be sad about it.
You shouldn't be sad about it. But also, seize the sadness.
Seize the sadness and let it sink in.
Let it sink in. Let it be your downfall. It's better to be destroyed by a great attempt at greatness than to... I don't have an end to that sentence. So, it's just some wisdom.
This is just a teaser. I can't wait to really rip into these.
This is just a teaser.
I want to just get into all this.
This is just a
I want to
teaser.
talk about Dallas for a whole episode.
Yeah, Dallas.
We have to do a Dallas
we should
special.
we should record an episode in Dallas.
Yeah, we'll record an episode.
While we're trying to spread hockey to tropical climates, we should, spread it to Dallas. Record an episode there.
Let's start spreading it in Texas.
All right, moving on. Edmonton. Oh boy.
Edmonton, will we change? Edmonton.
There goes the teaser.
Boy, oh
there goes the
boy,
neighborhood.
oh boy.
Here we go.
We're not going to be able to talk about any other teams now. We got to get through this one quick.
We got to get through this one quick. We each get one word. One word each.
Okay, one word each.
Okay, I've got mine.
Okay, go for it.
Hindenburg.
Mine is splat.
All right, stay tuned in our next episode for elaborations on those two words about Edmonton Oilers. Nashville Predators.
I woke up in Nashville.
Smashville.
We're not doing one word for this one, but if your one word was Smashville, that's fine.
They just made a lot of bad trades. They became the new Ottawa Senators. What are they doing? What are they doing?
What are you doing, Nashville?
What did they do? What did you do?
What did you do? You were so close. Everyone in the NHL loved you.
Yeah.
I think
They
Vegas
could have been-
stole their mojo. I think Nashville was the old Vegas, kind of the underdog in a cool place that you want to visit. And then Vegas came in and was like, well, we're that, but we're better.
They could have been like San Jose and been good for a long time but never won. But now they're going to be bad for a long time and still never win.
I think they're the new Minnesota, where like they're going to have
nice.
Suter and Parise and enough people that like make them good for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to make the playoffs for the next 5 years. But they ain't getting a whiff.
They ain't getting a whiff. Is that Lou again?
That's Lou
Sounds
Lamoriello,
like
yeah, for sure.
That sounds like some Lou Lamoriello talk. They ain't getting a whiff.
You came in here for a slice of cake, but you ain't getting a whiff.
I think we're going to have to make a lot of Lou Lamoriello memes and just make it Tony Soprano, and then we'll just put whatever we want under. And that's what Lou Lamoriello looks like, as far as we know.
Yeah, I don't know what Lou Lamoriello really looks like, but I do think he could play James Gandolfini in a James Gandolfini biopic.
Well, I mean, Tony Soprano's New Jersey, so maybe we should take the Brooklyn guy. Anyway, we'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later. Brooklyn. All right, we're moving up. We're doing one that's definitely going to take far too long once again. So, one word about the Toronto Maple Leafs.
You used to.
One word. We can't do this all day.
Missed.
Missed? MISSED?
As in they missed the playoffs.
That's great.
Because they weren't in the playoffs. I don't know why people talk like they were in the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs.
Yep.
Right?
My word is just defense. Next team. We're going straight for the heart here. Vancouver.
People from everywhere come to see you. They've heard of your beauty. They don't want to leave you again. Where else they'll find the air so sweet and the water so pure? Where else the mountain reaches the sea? This is the place where I want to grow up and fulfill my dreams. This is the time where I want to sing. Vancouver.
Why did 2020 suck for Vancouver?
Well, Calgary. We lost a bunch of our players to Calgary.
Oh, yeah. I put that out of my brain, believe it or not.
Yeah, there were some nice guys. We lost our nice guys.
Kind of our heart and soul dudes. Yeah.
Heart and soul dudes we lost.
We'll find some new guys. It'll just give an opportunity for like Adam Gaudette to show off his like glorious personality. Right?
That's right. I can't wait for all those great Gaudette clips to come out.
But yeah, the fact that Calgary, who's made the playoffs a bunch of years in a row and is really good usually, looked at Vancouver, who's been terrible forever, and took all the people that have always been on our team and have always helped us be terrible, doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No.
But
it seems like they haven't really been paying attention because those guys get injured every season.
Yeah.
Do they not know that?
Yeah. I don't want to like help Calgary, but like, did you not know that?
Did you not know that Tanev is going to play max 20 games for you? Max.
Out of a 50 whatever game season. Next up, because we beat them in the standings. True fact, Calgary.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh.
Suck it.
Suck it. Okay, that's it. That's all we're saying for Calgary.
That's all we're saying. That's good enough.
Suck it.
Every memory of looking out the back door.
And moving over to Columbus.
In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
Columbus's 2020 didn't really suck. They should be proud of themselves.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm going to give them my honorary. You didn't suck last season. You know, you lost all those people, and then you were okay. So.
Okay, they're the one.
Yeah, they're the one.
They had a good year.
Yeah, I'm voting them best 2020 in the league.
Best team of 2020, Columbus Blue Jackets.
Not because I've thought this through, but because I just thought of this now.
Yeah. That's great. Best team of 2020, Columbus Blue Jackets, and that's even better than the Stanley Cup. We should let them know that they won the best award that hockey has to offer. Best team in the eyes of the HockeySport Podcast.
There should be team awards at the award ceremony, like most valuable team.
Yep.
It'd be sweet. We should do like most valuable team.
Yeah.
Best defense team.
Yeah. Or the HockeySport Awards.
The HockeySport Awards. I think
this is a new idea.
We're doing it right now.
This is a teaser. This is a teaser.
I remember,
So
this is just a
teasing
teaser.
ideas.
These are all teasing ideas. This isn't an episode. This is not an episode.
Yeah. A tickler. So some people call it a teaser. I call it a tickler. All right.
We're getting to the end because we're definitely not talking about teams that didn't make the playoffs. Definitely not.
No.
Let's just say that right now.
Yeah. We're not talking about.
If you are a New Jersey Devil fan and you've listened to this whole teaser, waiting for us to talk about the Devils, really confused by our Lou Lamoriello references, you are going to be very disappointed.
You're not going to like the silence that follows this sentence.
That's our discussion about New Jersey right there.
Yeah. And it's not even that these teams didn't make the playoffs, because we've already talked about teams that didn't make the playoffs. These teams didn't make the bubble, the gimme playoffs.
They're the first teams ever to not make the regular season, technically.
They got cut during the regular season.
They got relegated.
The league just went, guys, just stop.
Just stop.
Yeah. Just stop.
Just stop. Put your pants back on and get a cab.
Just stop. Honestly, I'm not into this anymore, actually.
They got the shoulder tap.
You should go home.
Call an Uber.
Call an Uber. Give me my shirt back and get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. Just stop. Buffalo, just stop.
Buffalo, just stop.
Buffalo won the first 10 games of the season, and then it was please, just stop. God.
Seriously, Buffalo shouldn't play this season. They just take a season off.
Just take a break.
Take a break, Buffalo. Regroup.
Take a break and then trade a healthy Taylor Hall at the trade deadline for 3 first-round picks.
I think we should mostly Zamboni Buffalo the entire season.
Mostly.
They just need to take a break.
This is an important revelation we've come up with this in this teaser episode.
This is
poker,
a tease, though. This is a tease.
This quick jab. That Buffalo take the season off, and we're going to take the season off of you.
Who's up next?
I mean, there's only a few left. I guess we have to talk about Florida.
Flow Rider, Pope Entertainment. City. Like I said, we the best.
I don't want no cake on my birthday. I want my cake every day.
Florida. You know why 2020? Honestly, why 2020 sucked for Florida? All of the jokes about Florida not having fans in a regular year, that got old fast, and I'm not even a Panthers fan.
Yep, the arena looked the same.
So, it's not so much that 2020 sucked because they don't have fans usually. It sucked because suddenly there was just this easy joke that sportscasters got to make. Sportscasters love a good easy joke.
Oh, they love it. They love it a lot. And Florida has a lot of them. And they also got some good players, but we're just the same team. That still, man, they have been mediocre for such a long time.
Yeah. And we're not talking about Florida. That's all I got to say about Florida. I was going to talk about Bobrovsky. Let's just say Bobrovsky.
You know why Florida had a bad season last year? Because they didn't get moved.
All right, next up, New York Rangers.
Rangers!
The Rangers, your season sucked because the Islanders did better than you.
Yeah, definitely. It's
and they probably will do better than you next year, too.
They will. It's embarrassing for the Rangers. They're an embarrassment to the league.
And the Islanders were consistently the worst.
Something's happened. That the Rangers are the biggest embarrassment in the league right now.
That can't be true. Just can't be.
It is. And yet it is.
That can't be true.
And
where are your what are your sources? Who's been reporting to you on this?
My sources is my eyes, ears, and brain. These are my sources.
Okay, apparently New York Rangers, you are the new Philadelphia Flyers.
That's right.
And if that means anything to anyone listening to this, congratulations, you've been paying attention.
Congratulations, you're officially in the fold.
You're in the fold. You're ready for this next season.
You can't get out now.
You can't get out now. There's only more of this coming. Okay, hammering through. Winnipeg.
That's it! Back to Winnipeg!
2020 sucked for you.
The Winnipegos. I mean, your best player got injured 2 seconds into the playoffs, and it was downhill from there.
Yeah, that's too bad.
That really I can say that with confidence. That sucked.
Yeah, that's kind of like when the doctor drops the baby in the delivery room.
Yeah.
Oh, oops.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Wow, dead baby.
Wow, dead baby joke.
Dead baby joke.
Every teaser needs one.
Remember how we said you're in the fold and you can't leave?
This is where you are now.
This is where you are now. Dead baby jokes.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to see if there's any other ones. I think
what do we got?
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. 2020 sucked because you didn't get first overall pick, and for some reason everyone, including myself, was rooting for you.
I thought they were going to get it. I thought they were going to get Laffy, but they didn't.
It's too bad that Laffy Taffy went to the Big Easy instead of... Where's the Big Easy? That's not
the Big Sleazy.
The Big Sleazy. Laffy Taffy playing the Big Sleazy instead of playing in Minnesota, which is the Big Soda.
Yep.
I think he would have been great there. Everyone loves Minnesota.
He would have been great in the Big Soda, but he's playing in the Big Sleazy now. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Arizona.
And all you can do is laugh at her. Doesn't anybody know how to pray? Arizona, take off your rainbow shades. Arizona, have another look at the world.
Arizona, you know what 2020 sucked? Is that your plan to get first overall pick by trading for Taylor Hall didn't work.
It did not work.
I'm surprised.
Me too.
We're all surprised.
You know, but hey, look on the bright side. You don't have Taylor Hall on your team anymore.
That's a
silver lining. That's a silver lining.
That's a silver lining, and that is the closest we're going to come to mentioning Buffalo.
Silver Line. We need to say Silver Line next time we talk about Patrick Laine.
Yeah, we really missed an opportunity when we were talking about Patrick Laine 25 seconds ago.
I can't believe we missed that.
It was
literally 30 seconds ago. Silver Line. Just edit it back in there.
Just edit it back in. Put it back in there. Make it back into the part where we talked about Minnesota, even though we didn't talk about Laine, actually, now that I think about it. And second last, Montreal. Second last, but they were actually last going into the playoffs. They shouldn't have been there.
They definitely shouldn't have been there. And that's why their year sucked, because they were given hope.
Yes, they were given hope.
They were given hope. Everybody thinks that Montreal's going to be really good this year. And sure, they added people, but also they missed the playoffs last year by a lot.
Yes. Montreal is this year's Florida Panthers, where everyone's like, Florida Panthers are going to win the East.
Yeah.
All that could go wrong is if their super overpaid goaltender didn't play well and none of their players are as good as we think they are, because they've always been bad, and we've never had anything to compare them against.
All that could go wrong is if they perform as well as they could on paper. That's all that could go wrong.
All that could go wrong is them being true to themselves and living their own flame. Live your spark.
Live your own spark. Be genuine. Touch rainbows. I don't know.
Watch Disney's Soul.
Watch Disney's Soul again.
And lastly, we're going to be saying this a lot. And lastly, the Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, Chicago. We've been through a lot.
You and I. Our memories stretch back. Some good. Most bad.
And I can safely say that it feels good to finally watch you fail.
And we hope to watch many more failures by you day after day, all year.
I've got major schadenfreude for the Chicago Blackhawks. Yep, Chicago sucked. They're bad now. They're just bad now. That you know why last year sucked for them? Because that was the year that they became bad.
Yeah, even though they beat Edmonton. But if you beat something, you sometimes become that thing, and now they are Edmonton.
Yes, they are Edmonton now.
Yes, and I hope that Patrick Kane and Sidney Crosby get traded to the same team.
That would be great.
And I hope that team is the Montreal Canadiens.
Sure, I'm in.
Why not?
Why not? I love that take.
I like that take.
Off the cuff.
Off the cuff, off the record.
Off the cuff, on the record,
Spreadin'
back
it.
on track.
Spreading
it around the globe. Well, we did it. We
spread
through all
it.
the teams.
Got through all the teams that matter, and that's the end of 2020. Officially over.
Officially. It's done
I know
now.
people think it ends at the end of December. It doesn't. It ends sometime in January.
That's right.
When we say it does.
We can move on now. And again, this was just a teaser, so I hope you enjoyed it. And our next episode's going to come out probably next week. First episode of the season. We're going to preview everything. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a bonanza.
It's going to be a bonanza.
It's going to be a big party.
An absolute bonanza.
So
I hope you guys can't wait to see all the hot take videos, people diving into this teaser, finding all the cookies that we put in, and all the little subtle nods to the extended HockeySport universe, just contained in this teaser.
There's going to be a lot of Easter eggs this season.
A lot of Easter eggs. Perk those ears. I want to see some perked ears.
Perk 'em.
And spread it.
Perk 'em, spread it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
It's so